Hey, what's up, everybody? Man, what the fuck? Hold on, bro. Oh, there you go. Alright. Trying to see a nigga head, bro. Where my head at? My head in the camera. God damn, nigga. God damn. Nigga head in the camera. Alright, bet. Hey, what's good, everybody? So, look, today's video is gonna be on the only fitness advice you'll ever need, right? First off, number one, don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to anyone at all. You know, we got so many, like, everybody is different, so we got so many people, you know, with different physiques, this and that, and then a lot of times you start to compare yourself when you start your fitness journey, and now you over doubting yourself, start feeling insecure about yourself, and then it's discouraging you, right? A lot of times. Also, it could be a good thing comparing yourself, you know, if you have, okay, it's what I aim to look like, even though you know, okay, I can't look like them, right? But, you know, a lot of times you get discouraged because, you know, you're doing what they tell you to do, you're doing what they do, and you're not seeing the results because you're trying to look like them, but you can't look like another person. You only can look like yourself, you know. So whatever your best self look like, you know, do the best you can to look like, just to look the best you can, whatever, you know, whatever that looks like to you, you know. And number two, I'll say have fun with it. You know, have fun with the fitness journey. You don't gotta overcomplicate things. You know, just have fun with it. Fitness is not meant to be so serious. You know, it's meant to be fun. It's meant to be enjoyable. You know, while you still putting in that pain, but you gotta make it enjoyable for you. You know, you gotta, you know, just make it enjoyable for you, and figure out what works for you, right? You know, cause that's what I do. I make my workouts fun for me. What I perceive, okay, I'm gonna make it enjoyable for me to where it's like, okay, I could do more reps, you know, with doing the things I want to do. You know, like my training approach, I do 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes sometimes, you know, but I feel like I put a lot of volume in that time frame, you know, because I'm very intentional with my workouts, you know, and you know, like I said, I just do what's best for me, and I have fun with it. It's just fun for me. That's why I can do it every day, because it's fun. It's not stressful. It's not something I'm dreading to do. You know, some days I may be sore, you know, which is why a lot of days I do 10-minute workouts. You know, number three, you know, come up with your own, like, you gotta come up with your own workout regimen. You know, some people may need somebody to, you know, give them this workout plan, you know, but you gotta really just take the basics. Just really do the basics. Just take the basics and work with that. Push-ups, dips, sit-ups, squats, you know, things like that. Like, you got Mother Nature for free. Push-ups, sit-ups, leg raises, all the basics. Just do the basics and then just come up with your own routine. Figure out which ones work for you. Okay, let me do this, and then you start progressing from there. You know, I don't like to promote weightlifting off the rip, especially if you just never been working out in your life. I say start with the basics: push-ups, sit-ups, dips, pull-ups. Start with the basics. And pull-ups is kind of more advanced too if you don't be working out like that. So I should say push-ups, sit-ups, leg raises, squats. That's it. That's all you need to do. And then work your volume up from there, and you will get results. You know, you don't need all this weight and all that. You know, not starting out at least. I didn't use weight. I just did push-ups. I was just doing 10-minute push-up workouts. Then doing squats. You know, doing leg raises. I did this starting out. You know, and it's still the big foundation of what I'm doing right now. You know, so do the basics. Just do the basics. Don't try to do nothing complicated. Stick with the basics and just work with that. And was that 3 points? And then I would say number 4 is you gotta change your mindset about things. You know, you gotta show up every day. You gotta be consistent. You know, I don't work out every day. You don't have to work out every day, but whatever consistent looks like to you, right? You know, because, and what it really comes down to is just who you are as a person, like identity-wise, right? Because, you know, it's just like, you know, if you're not a person who just shows up every day, you try to, you know, work out, and then you start and stop. That's who you are. So you gotta change who you are. internally. You gotta change it. You gotta become a person who doesn't miss, who always shows up. You gotta become that person, you know. And it comes from an internal work, right? You gotta tell yourself who you are every day. You gotta remind yourself who you are every day, throughout the entire day. So no matter what happens, you know, you won't fall off, because a lot of times, you know, people get thrown off by certain life events and they start working out because all this happened, that happened. But see what I'm saying? But who are you? That's why it comes down to who you are. Are you the person that's unstoppable, who's gonna keep following through no matter what? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta tell yourself who you are. You gotta come up with your own identity with this thing, right? You know, because yeah, you could do all the exercises you want, but if your identity is not aligned with the person, with this work, with this whole fitness journey, then you won't see no results. You might get little results, you know, but you got to be the person who is showing up every day, you know. And it all comes, and it's all the mind. It all starts with the mind, right? All the mindset, the internal work, the mindset, man. You know, so that's why I gotta say, it's the best fitness advice you'll get. You know, this is my point of view of it. So yeah, hope y'all enjoy. Peace.